I also appreciate all the time that, the three of you, the chair and vice chair and administrator, put into this. I look at it a little bit different perspective. I mean, everybody wants their fair share. But I had the following statements that I'm going to make is just based upon my opinion and observation and research. But in our hearings, what we've done is we've had people come in, 150. I look around here, all the people that are here. But we've had 150 special interest recruits that are encouraged to attend the meetings. That doesn't necessarily, out of 1 million people, 999,000 people, reflect broad support for the community. These are special interest groups that attend. We also, in determining what projects we have, what we're using is nobility, really, is are the projects worthy. But what we're not using, we don't have anything that is quantitative, that we can set, that we can rank them 1 to 120, which makes it ability, because a lot of them are nobility, and a lot of them are good projects, but which ones are better? Tucson currently is fiscally challenged, okay, on their budget. And I'm sure they're working on it to resolve that. But the county itself is acting as a facilitator, encouraging the city to take on additional operating and maintenance costs that could be up to $10 million. Now, they don't have the money right now to handle and keep up the infrastructure that they have right now. And they're probably not the only ones. There are probably other jurisdictions also that are in the same situation. So by doing this and them getting their fair share, or any other jurisdiction, we're forcing upon them more costs on their budget. Existing deficits needs to be addressed. The number of jurisdictions have current infrastructure and facility deficiencies. Some of these are addressed in the proposed bond package. The others should be addressed and resolved prior to considering new projects, in my opinion. And then taxpayers should not become investors of last resort and wards of failed businesses. We have several projects that the county wants to assume some of the liability over that were not successful as businesses. Old Tucson happens to be one of them. And I don't feel that that's right on putting that on the taxpayer. If a private individual can't do it, then I can't see the taxpayers assuming that liability. Taxpayers, the Bond Advisory Committee, by endorsing a proposal, also endorses funding as well as, in their best judgment, the validity of third-party jurisdictions, organizations, and individuals to fulfill contractual and financial obligations. To date, no documentation has been provided to sustain the latter, which are their ability to do that. That is, I understand, was going to be further down in the process, but if we okay a project now to be included, I'm not totally sure that it would be eliminated at any time in the future. We're just going to assume that they can and will. And we have noticed in the past that that's not necessarily the case. We have several, Colossal Cave being one, where it wasn't maintained during the stewardship of the previous operators. And I'm sure there's others also. In my opinion, Pima County tends to have a build it and they will come attitude. According to several publications, Tucson has over 1,000 miles of special lane and multi-use bicycle paths and spends the 5th greatest amount on bicycle infrastructure of any city in the United States. And yet, we are the 6th poorest. You know, that I would say maybe we have our priority a little bit backward there. Also, this infrastructure did not happen overnight. We continue to say that that's going to bring new people here. Well, it hasn't yet. Is it because we just aren't throwing enough money at it? The Pacific Northwest has the highest bicycle participation rate, and yet only 3% of the population use the facility. The highest age group is under 16, and most of them ride within their own neighborhoods. Communities that we appear to be trying to emulate, Austin, Texas, because I look at what they've done, they have a growth rate of over 4%. Tucson has a growth rate of 0.7%. 10% population growth since 2010 in Austin, Texas. Ours is 1.4. Their consumer confidence number is over 100, 1985 being the base. Tucson is 70. They built a state-of-the-art shelter for $11 million for animal shelter, and now so many people are dropping off their animals that they've had to reopen old facilities, and their budget is exploding. The county would recommend spending over $100 million to preserve lands and flood-prone areas. With other means of controlling development, I ask myself, why does Pima County need to own tens of thousands of acres? It brings to mind the Willie Sutton reply to, "Why do you rob banks?" Is it possible in this case that it's about water? They happen to be down through a heavy area where there's a lot of water reserves, and the counties cannot own water facilities, but they can own water rights. So I just question what the reason for, the actual reason for preserving all this land when it could be done through other means. I understand that we have an insufficient amount compared to other cities of parks. I understand that. But again, we're the 6th poorest county in the United States. So, you know, the priorities. That's the extent of my statement.
Mr. London and Mayor Diaz. But beforehand, I would like to acknowledge that it was presumptuous of me to impose what I felt were the priorities on the jurisdictions, and it might be a good idea. My